And like when I look at Kyrie Irving with my eyes, right? Like it's clear that he probably has the most amount of talent for any basketball player ever. I don't really know if that's like a debatable thing. Like,
This nigga
Nah, no, no.
who's a more talented basketball player than Kyrie Irving that you've seen? Seriously.
At my crib, I got baddies galore. They just blow all the rest on couture. On the beach, we just chill by the shore. I need MTV Chris for a tour.
Yeah. Shout out to the greatest team of all time, the 73-9 Warriors.
Nah, it don't mean a thing if you don't got that ring. Don't mean a thing if you don't got that ring, brother, man. That's the reality of that situation.
Eventually,
I'm never gonna say a team for this generation is better. When the rules have drastically, we have instant replay now. We have last 2 minute rule. We like, come on, like the NBA was not NBA like that. So for all the stuff that the calls that could have been missed, and nah, we can't never say that. We can't say that.
do you really think that Kyrie Irving could not play in the 90s? You really think that?
Do you really think that? All right, Shaq played almost both generations, right? So my point is this, and he averaged a good amount of points in the 90s, good amount of points in the 2000s until he started, getting late into his career.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
injured.
Well, he even said it himself. He didn't want to be one of those guys that average 5 points per game.
So now everybody thinks about what you about to say, Kyrie Irving in the 90s. They had a Kyrie Irving in the 90s. His name's Rod Strickland.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rod used to get buckets.
Are you
But
really comparing Rod Strickland?
I'd say Kyrie got a better 3-point game than Rod, but they handle was pretty similar.
Rod hit threes. Rod hit threes too, but not
seriously.
just the 3-point shot wasn't working.
Yeah, they weren't
it wasn't
shooting as
allowed.
much. They weren't shooting as much.
You act like if you let Mahmoud Abdul Rahim come down and shoot as much as these young niggas get to shoot threes, the average nigga was taking 5 threes was a lot to be taken in the game back then.
Thanks.
And only great shooters was getting 5 threes or Reggie. Niggas like
Stockton.
Mark Price, Chuck Person. Like those was only niggas that was known. That's what they did. It wasn't Mike wasn't even shooting 5-3. He could.
He proved it with Clyde, but other than that, he wasn't doing that.
So now you ask yourself that if the game Chris Mullin, ask the game, if you can't touch none of these dudes that I'm naming, what they average? You know what I mean? Fuck Kyrie Irving, what they average?
So I just have a real quick question. Like everybody plays basketball, right? And when I look at Kyrie Irving with my eyes, right? Like it's clear that he probably has the most amount of talent for any basketball player ever. I don't really know if that's like a debatable thing.
Nah, no.
Who's a more talented basketball player than Kyrie Irving that you've seen? Seriously, that's a serious question.
Mike.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant.
Bron. I love Kyrie. Don't get me wrong. Kyrie's a very skilled individual.
Yeah, I'm talking about skill ceiling. Look at the guy.
Skill ceiling. Kobe's the most skilled basketball player to ever touch a ball.
Kyrie Irving is 5'11", bro, and he breaks every season and a half. Come on.
Yeah.
Wait, Joe.
I'm talking about body. I'm just talking about
even when he's playing. Even when he's playing, I like him. Even when he's playing, what do he do with the Celtics if he's that much of a great player?
Joe,
he ain't do shit with them.
So this right here, you gonna say Kyrie has a better skill set than Kobe?
He lost me when he ain't do shit with the Celtics. I didn't understand what that whole transaction was about then.
Even this, you gonna say his bag is better than Dame?
Package, yeah, 100%.
Dame never boss his ass, and Dame,
of course, yes.
Dame is a better player. I love Kyrie, but Dame is that's not happening.
Dame is a better player. I'm not debating that. That's not the debate. That's not the topic here. I'm just talking about just culmination of skills, ball handling, shooting ability, driving ability. I don't know if there's a player.
What about dunking? Since players dunk, he's not a great dunker.
Yeah, but I mean, come on,
he has a great layup package.
6'2".
He has a great layup package, but with the right defense, that shit is often altered.
Yeah.
And He has great handles.
And I mean, Joe, if you gonna
I've
say,
seen great handles.
I don't know if great.
if you gonna say size too, you can't put him ahead of Allen Iverson then. Because if you gonna go about Kyrie being 6'3", AI was like 6 foot, scoring 30.
So you guys think that
in all types of
is
ways
the comparable ball handler to Kyrie Irving?
We're not talking about one thing though. You're talking about shooting. You're talking about driving. You're talking about one thing: ball handling. Ball handling. Kyrie
You
might be one of the
said
best
he was
ones to
the
ever
most
handle.
complete player I ever seen.
You're talking about skill set. Skill set, nah, no way.
They said nope.
There's been
Not
better.
now, not ever.
He's not better than Kobe, bro. It's over. He's not better than Kobe.
Kobe was gonna bust that ass too.
Kobe locked him up.
I don't really know if I'm explaining what I'm trying to. I don't really.
You're trying to say you really, really like Kyrie Irving's game, and you think that it's up here.
I like his game.
No, not at all. I'm just looking at the skill of. I'm just using Kyrie Irving as an example. Like the skill of today's basketball player is just better than what it was 10 years ago.
Of course, his skill is better. You know why? Because when it's basketball now, it's more entities involved in it just being basketball. It's fitness. It's a nutrition. It's more technological shit that goes into what these players are doing. It's better workouts. It's more knowledge about the body, about the game. It's not just fucking X's and O's on a chalkboard. Go do 2 a days. Get a lot of Gatorade. It's not just like that. That's what those players. But think about if all of that shit was prevalent back then, and they had that, and players was doing that. Come on, baby.
It's just hard for me to go back and think like that. So like,
but you want to say, oh, Kyrie Irving could get in the DeLorean and go back and bust everybody's ass and average 150,000 points.
Yeah, no, it's not. You know what?
Because that's what I don't know.
Nigga is crazy.
If you let Kyrie run into the bad boy Pistons, bro, he getting broke up. That's the honest truth.
That nigga gonna break before the playoffs. He gonna break.
He's getting broke up.
It shows he breaks. He broke in college.
He getting broke up. Like, don't let him go against.
He broke in the pros. He gonna break again.
I love Kyrie, but his game today is fine for his game today. Don't put.
I think he's broken right now. He didn't just play with the Nets.
Oh wow, that's wild.
He didn't. He didn't ride for his set. What you do? Wait for KD. You didn't ride.
He did come on.
I would be tight, B.
Yeah, no,
that was a fun first couple games though.
He got some stuff to prove though. Like he has some questions.
Yo, shout out to I want to bring that up. How y'all feel about Steve Nash being the head coach?
I love Steve, man. Oh, that's great for Steve. I'm sad. I'm sad that Mark Jackson still don't have a job. Shout
out to Mark Jackson not still having a job.
Yeah, I think
I don't even know if he got an interview. Did he get an interview? I didn't hear if he got an interview.
But I can't get mad at
Ty Lue. Shout out to Ty Lue. He got a chip.
I can't get mad at them trying to bring on Steve because, I mean, you look at them, they're the same team that gave Jason Kidd a shot. So I can't be mad at them.
Shout out to Jason Kidd.
I can't be mad at that. I like Steve Nash because Steve's a good guy. Every player that's played with Steve loves Steve. And he's been around Kevin Durant. He's going to be great for Kyrie if he could pass him, why it's important to get your teammates involved and how to do so in the correct way. That'd be great for Kyrie. I think that's going to be nice.
How y'all feel about my fault, Joe. Go ahead.
No. As the ambassador to Wakanda, right? Something here don't smell right. It doesn't feel good. Them hiring Steve just kind of like it's a slap in the face to pretty much every black candidate that's out there, right? And like you got a lot of great black coaches. Like the Pelicans, they just did what's their coach's name? I forget his name. They literally just did him wrong and fired him. And
the black dude.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Was it?
What was his name? No. The black dude. I remember his name. Oh man, I'm gonna remember it in a minute.
It wasn't Byron Scott.
No.
Lionel Hawkins.
Alvin Gentry.
Oh yeah, Alvin Gentry.
Yeah,
Gentry.
Oh, that wasn't the Raptors coach.
No, Pelicans.
Oh yeah, they did him dirty.
And here's the thing, like Alvin Gentry.
I knew he was going to get fired when he got hired.
That's the crazy.
He always get fired.
Yeah, 100%. But he's a part of that Steve Kerr coaching branch too, and he has a lot of head coaching experience. So hiring Steve Nash doesn't make a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they wanted to go in a direction where, let's see what he can do. Because you look at all the other coaches, like the Nate McMillans and everybody else, like they haven't
Well, it's
had.
obvious why this happened, right? Like clearly, KD and Kyrie.
Cause that tall dude,
Yeah, KD has a
that
relationship with
little,
Steve.
and that little guy.
That's where you want somebody that your players respect. Like if your players don't respect your coach, that's gonna be tough.
Not like this. Not like this. I don't think that this is one of those
Hey
times.
guys, I thought Steve Nash was like a player development coach or something.
Yeah, I thought he was a
That's one of his
positions
things.
coach for guards. That's what I thought he was doing.
But no, that's good because one, Steve's temperament is a temperament that players love. Steve also is proven he's an MVP, two-time MVP, and also too, you're dealing with like players that have a superficial ego. Like you can't have anybody just deal with KD and Kyrie, especially together. You need like a special person to deal with that type of shit, like
There's
the Zen
nothing that's
Master.
going to stop those two insane guys together. That's
But the thing is, at least you have somebody that they like and that they can look up to that has done some of the stuff that they've done with KD being an MVP and Nash being one and Kyrie trying to be an MVP in his position where they can respect that. So that's something that catches their attention.
I don't know.
I don't know. Denver's
We're going to see how it goes, but I like that. I think that makes sense. Don't get me wrong. I'm sad that, the opportunity didn't come for a brother, but I respect them hiring Steve Nash based off of everything in that equation.
The NBA is really good about doing a couple of different things, and it's the most important thing is differentiating themselves from the NFL. And this felt like a NFL hire. It felt like something that was just out of the blue, and it literally makes no sense for any other players and for anyone involved. It makes no sense for.
You saying they did the Jacksonville Jaguars shit?
Make sense.
Yeah, 100%.
No, what sense it makes sense because now, not only do they got two big names, they got a big name coach. They don't got no bullshit coach. They got Steve Nash, two-time MVP Steve Nash. You know what I mean? Almost got a chip Steve Nash. And guess what? They said, oh, Steve Kerr could do it. And guess what? When he got those chips, Steve Kerr was like the GM of Phoenix or some shit like that. So it's all supposedly that family of, and then he was player development over in Golden State and blah, 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 blah. So he's now qualified for the job. So KD won him. Got to get him, right? All right, so you got him. Now let's see what you do with him.
We will see what happens, but it makes sense.
He's a good point guard, maybe. But what do you think about the history about good players turn coach in the league? Like, I don't know if, the numbers are, in his favor, but
you got some of those that translated well, like Larry Bird,
Larry Bird, decent. Steve Kerr, lucky.
Like you got some that turned out solid. Like it's not something that just doesn't happen.
Oh, who turned out solid? Steve Kerr wasn't a good player.
I'm not saying that we're good players. You're saying player coaches. You didn't say good players. If you want to be specific, you gotta say that.
Like I said, Steve Nash is a star player.
So what is your
Jason Kidd? Jason Kidd was a trash coach. Magic Johnson was a trash coach. Now he did with Milwaukee.
Yeah, so you're saying good players can't be great coaches? That's what you're saying?
I'm just saying you could look at the good players, like when regular players, when the other players that wasn't standout players, they get coaching jobs, they seem to keep jobs longer. Whatever happened, what's the name coaching? He was pretty good for a little while. Kevin McHale, he was kind of
McHale was a solid coach.
He got fired.
He got fired. James Harden.
Exactly, because he was more of a player than he was a coach. So that's what usually happens. Magic Johnson quit after 15, 20 games.
Isaiah Thomas was a good coach. I don't know what anybody says.
No, he wasn't.
Nah.
He was a trash ass coach.
Yeah, nah. I love IT, but that shit was doomed.
Keep going.
That shit was doomed.
All right, so come on.
Nah,
Like,
yeah.
come
I'm just
on.
saying there's people that have done it before. I'm not saying that it's a
And I
high
respect
success rate.
Steve Nash as a coach because Steve Nash worked in the back office for a while before he just jumped out and he learned. He was a player, worked in the front office for a little while. Then he came down to do the coach. You know what I mean? So Steve Nash, he went to school, like it looks like, on how to fuck with a franchise. So, and he knows what he can get, the most he can get out of a franchise. And I think that's why he did choose Golden State to fuck with. But I always say Steve Nash got lucky because Mark Jackson started that program up, and which I don't fucking understand why nobody is knocking on Mark Jackson's door with all these young ass teams out here. You know, all these guards that need to be mentored. I don't understand, but you know what? I enjoy listening to Mark Jackson commentate. Mama, there goes that man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to him, and shout out to Steve Nash. I will see how he does, but I'm just thinking, you know.
At my crib, I got baddies galore. They just blow all the rest on couture. On the beach, we just chill by the shore. I need MTV Chris for a tour.